Okay, I love our intro music.
I do too. It sounds so good.
Hi, everyone. And here we are, motivating you to live more creatively. I'm Rod Jones.
And I'm Angie Jones. Welcome to the Thought Robe podcast. We invite you to subscribe wherever you listen, and we are available virtually anywhere you listen to your podcast.
That's right, Angie. I know people that want to think more creatively will benefit from our weekly show. What are we going to discuss today?
Well, today we are going to talk about when you are creative in multiple ways. And we're going to have a special guest who is one of those lucky people that is blessed with talent in many, many ways.
This is going to be very interesting, Angie. Now, how about for the quote of the week?
Well, because it's Valentine's week, this one is kind of special. Here it is. Love is like a beautiful flower which I may not touch, but whose fragrance makes the garden a place of delight just the same.
Who said that?
Helen Keller.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it a wonderful quote?
You know, that's one of those quotes from someone who gave and shared her courage to millions of people.
So true, so true.
And who brought her along the way.
Well, you know, her teacher, Annie Sullivan, I think really helped to direct her in such a positive way, and also just to learn how to, cope with life with the disabilities that she had. And she was instrumental in her becoming an amazing human being.
Well, I guess you could say without Annie Sullivan, Helen Keller would have lived kind of a doomed life.
Well, yeah, especially at the time period she was born in. People that had any small disability were not, they were not really helped a lot. So for her to have Annie Sullivan come along and be her angel on earth was a blessing.
Yeah. Beautiful quote.
Totally beautiful.
From a very beautiful person. What about creative people in general?
Well, when it comes to people who seem to be creative in everything they touch, the person that comes to my mind is Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, he's at the top when it
Yeah.
comes to creativity. But I think it seems to me like a lot of that had to do with his scientific mind. He was curious about everything. He was always discovering things, coming up with new inventions.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to give him credit for probably the most famous painting in the world today.
So true.
That's prominently hanging in the Louvre.
The Mona Lisa, of course.
Yeah, that has millions of visitors every year. And some people just specifically go there just to see that painting. So not only was he creative in everything that he explored, but mechanically, he did all those drawings. He did drawings of human anatomy. Pretty creative guy all around, I would say.
I have to agree with you 1,000,000%. But the thing I think I've noticed about Leonardo da Vinci, and I don't know if you guys have this thought too, is that I think he really liked the mystery of life and the mystery of the science and the mystery of the human body and even in painting, because he incorporated so many interesting facets to one overlapped into the other, and even in his inventions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So in today's world, there are a lot of people that excel in one creative endeavor only to find that they're really quite good in multiple areas.
A good example of that, I've read a lot about various writers, and what was impressive to me is how many of them were actually great painters.
Oh, yeah.
They were incredible, accomplished painters, and you probably have seen some of the work and never even realized it.
So true. And then I also have noticed this with actors and with musicians, where as they go through their career, they will also become painters. And some of those people that have done this is Tony Curtis, Gene Hackman.
Yeah, Gene Hackman, one of my favorites.
Right. And then we were talking about, well, when we went to Las Vegas one time in a gallery, I can't remember what hotel, but they had Anthony Hopkins' work.
Mr. Scary.
He is so, yeah. But his artwork was a little on the kind of scary, macabre side, but very interesting and very, very creative for sure. And I also think of Jane Seymour, which I love her, and her artwork is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And on the countryside, somebody I wouldn't necessarily expect to be an artist.
Who's that?
I mean, other than his obvious talent,
yeah,
is Johnny Cash.
Oh, I didn't know that he did artwork.
Well, I didn't actually either until I looked it up.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you wouldn't know, but still. And then you were telling me the other night when we were watching an old movie, I think it was a film noir on TCM, and they had a boxing scene. And you told me that Frank Sinatra. Tell that story.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra, he liked photography. And he took a very famous photograph of boxers in a ring. Mm-hmm. But the thing that he did is he tilted the camera. And up until then, not too many people took that angle. They tilted the camera, which made the boxing ring, it explored the angles and put the fighters in very unique poses. And it ended up being on the cover. In fact, they made I think it was called a double truck, a fold out. On the cover. It was either Time or Life magazine. I don't remember which
that's
one.
That's a big deal back then.
It sure was. But I also know it made a lot of photographers very unhappy because, here he is as a celebrity. And one of the things, celebrities definitely have an edge when they decide to pick up a paintbrush or take up photography. They have notoriety coming out the gate. So even if they paint just so, there's going to be a collector for it just because of their name.
That's true. They want a piece of Frank Sinatra or, whoever when they purchase the art. So they feel a little akin to them, I guess. But I mean, when you're creative, you want to do different things.
Well,
I can understand
it may
that.
have to do too. Sometimes you just need to pick another creative outlet just to give yourself a break in what you're doing so intently.
So true.
You may be intently an actor, right? You're doing all the things actors do. And then you pick up a camera and you go out and take some photographs and it relaxes you. And then it turns out you're doing a pretty good job at it.
Well, also being an actor or musician, you've always got a ton of people around you that, they put pressure on you, or you have to learn your lines, or you have to produce music. And when you do something a little more self-contained, like maybe painting, I think it's a kind of a relief not to have that pressure of these people kind of putting pressure on you to produce.
Absolutely, because when you're painting in your studio, you don't have lights, camera, action all around you. It's a solitary process.
So true. You have a lot of people, putting pressure on you to perform. But also, people that are creative in lots of different areas are sometimes referred to as Renaissance people.
That was a period of time we just discussed a little earlier. And the Renaissance was a period that brought forth all these really creative people during one period of time. And you have kind of an interesting comment to make about that.
I did. I was listening on, I think it was YouTube, to an astrologist and astrologer. And they were talking about how astrologically we are currently in a period that is similar to the Renaissance period. And I thought that was kind of cool because there was lots of great ideas and great inspirations that came about during that period. And it'll be really exciting to see what's going to happen.
Well, during the first Renaissance, that's when people really started to recognize art and literature and politics, science. All of that evolved during that Renaissance period, which was a pretty major turning point for mankind. And so you're telling me that we're moving into another period like that. So are you also telling me I should go outside and stand under a bunch of stars and see what happens?
Well, I don't know if that will help you, but, I think we're in store for a period of beauty, which I think we all will look forward to on that one.
The trick when you're multi-creative is to manage it all. I know it could become like a circus. If you're trying to do all these different creative things and then you're trying to manage it, not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not. And sometimes I think the self-talk, that's when that starts with, I know creative people, we have a lot of thoughts and we tend to feel a lot of things as well. And when you couple those two together and then you have the pressure to perform a task, sometimes that can be a little overwhelming, but it's good to keep it in check where, if you're doing too much self-talk, you need to tone it down and say, no, I'm going to be present in the moment. And I think that's where the key is.
And part of that process too is if you can pull it off is have different spaces where you create.
Yeah, if you can, but sometimes just even making a teeny weeny space, even if you're in a small apartment, that is for that purpose, because then that's your safe space of, hey, I know this is where I can be creative without distractions.
Except if you're one of those people that keeps piling up things that they clip out of magazines or articles that they've read, books, a half-finished painting, their computer sitting there and they're writing a novel.
Well, hoarding is not good.
It could get kind of overwhelming.
Hoarding is not good.
If you can all pull it off, try to separate your creative spaces, even if you just go walk outside and come back in.
Right. And the danger of all this, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, is that when you do this, you're serving too many masters, and that's when you get a little overwhelmed. And every creative endeavor that you do is challenging, but it's also rewarding and fun. And you need to keep it at that fun level so you can have the creativity flow and not put that pressure on yourself. Because I know sometimes if I get frustrated when I'm painting or writing or whatever, and I get too tensed up about what's going on, then nothing flows.
Or,
you have to step away.
Yeah, and you can be standing in front of a painting. I've done this. I know you've done that. I'm sure millions and millions of artists have done this. You may be doing a repetitive task and you're not concentrating as much as probably you should be.
Right.
And then all of a sudden your mind starts drifting and then you come up with the first line for the great American novel. And before you know it, you're leaving the painting and you're over there typing away.
And that's perfectly fine. And sometimes you need to do that because then you're really letting the flow come in, I think, to your creativity.
Well, personally, I think those people that are multi-talented are very lucky because they rarely have a dull moment in their lives.
That's probably true. But it can also be a bit of a curse for those who don't know how to channel their talent. But today, our guest is very much in control of her creative life. Her name is Cris Santos, and I know you will all enjoy meeting her and hearing about her creative life and journey today. Hi, Cris. Welcome to the Thought Row podcast. We have so many questions for you because you have so many facets to your creativity, and our listeners are excited to hear what you have to say.
Hi, Cris.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. We're so glad that you're here with us today because you are very creative and very talented in so many different areas, from content creation, language, travel, fashion, photography, and you were even a book author. Plus, we need to mention you have been a fashion model. And all this is built around your brand, which is Photos by Cris Designs, which is your brand.
Not to mention the fact that it's also our understanding that you have been a dancer.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say
Yes.
that.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. Yes, I love anything that's creative, and I have focused so much in my life in art, and absolutely love that. Yes, so that's where my passion is.
Okay, so we're going to
Wonderful.
ask you our tough question first. What did you have for breakfast today?
That's easy. I normally just have a black small coffee in the morning and a piece of toast. And then I'm off. I just need my coffee to start up, and that's all I need. Yeah, I start my day.
Oh, perfect. We hear that from a lot of people. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a little coffee to get everybody
Your engine going.
engine going. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You managed to become an expert in so many beauty and lifestyle categories. Most people would be happy just to be successful in one. I know I would. What is your secret to keeping all this in motion? What's your secret there?
Well, lately I have been working 7 days. So I work and I stop working when I have something else to do. My mind never stops. So if I'm sleeping, sometimes I'm waking up at 2 or 3 and have ideas coming, and I have to get up and put it on paper and go back, and it never stops. So I'm always creating in a way or another. I think that might happen to many creative people.
Oh, yeah.
And all I do is keep track of all new ideas, and in that way I can manage. And sometimes I have to do, otherwise I forget. So that's how I manage. Sometimes I'm driving, I stop, write it down what I have coming to my mind, and then go and do it.
Oh,
yeah. So
Perfect.
that's what I normally do.
So, Angie, I know you have a question
Right,
regarding
I
the very
do.
thing.
Well, my question comes because I'm interested in your clothing line and things that you have. And when it comes to clothing, what is your favorite to market, and what is your favorite to wear personally at home?
That's good question. Normally we do have a style. Mine is I always say to people, I play dress ups.
Oh, nice.
I do love women's fashion, but with my fashion styling, I am also exploring a little bit on men's fashion.
Mm-hmm.
But every day I like playing up. Like, I don't really have one that I like the most. One day I am wearing a suit. Next day I'm wearing a biker clothes, all leather. The other day I'm wearing a dress that's very classic and with a bow. And I love that I can play and be a different character, if you say that, if you want to say that, every day. And it's fun. I think fashion is an expression, and you express yourself, how you feel on the day, or what you feel like wearing. It comes down to what you like. You look at the color. It's so much more than just what I'm going to wear. It's also your mood. Everything influences on that day, everything. And then you can pick what you feel like. And it's all about how you feel and how you want to express yourself on that day.
I think women dress to their mood.
Yeah.
Men just want to get something on and get out the door.
That's true. That's true.
One of the things,
yeah,
because we've had an opportunity to look at all the different areas that you're very creative in, you seem to have a special ability to market your thoughts and your ideas and the products. What do you attribute your business talent to? Where did you pick up your business talent?
Well, like I say, it's just something. I have many passions, so I try to incorporate everything that I love in my everyday life and work. And that's what I normally do. I just keep my thoughts and my ideas in order. If I need it, and I write it down. If I need, I just go back to it and work from there. And I think that's mainly, ideas just come, and
you make them happen.
Think of something, and then I create it. Yeah, and I just have to write it down and then try to put it. Of course, not always going to be exactly how you thought, but then you come up with something amazing or quite different. And it just develops or evolves from a thought. I think that's probably how
that makes sense.
I try to keep everything. Yes.
Makes sense. Now, I know you were talking about how you get up in the middle of the night and, you have a lot of energy, it seems like. So what is your health routine that gives you the energy and mental stamina that you need to be an entrepreneur?
Yes, to be honest, I think everything comes down to being happy with yourself and doing the things you love. The flexibility is absolutely wonderful. That allows me to get up and go back to sleep. And if, and that way I'm not exhausted or anything like that.
Right.
But I think happiness is the main factor too. If you're doing what you love and you do need the flexibility, you do need to do things on your own time. And it's very important to have positive people around you as well. That way you have encouragement and keep going after dreams. And it's really important to, I created, like, I call it noise. So I don't let a lot of people around me who are negative or saying, so shut that noise around you,
Good
shut
for
it off.
you.
And
Good for
then
you.
then you can see clearly and you're happy and you keep your vibes positive, you keep productive. And I think that's the key to keep going. And that's what I think it is. Everything comes down to happiness.
Cris, that's really good advice.
Yeah, it's such
I think
good advice.
everybody that's listening to this could learn something there. I know being happy is probably the number one thing that we should be responsible for.
Yeah, absolutely. In life. Yeah.
It really is. And, this is my next question was going to be for you. How do you keep yourself looking so radiant? But I feel like your secret is really you just have to be happy with yourself and your life and what you're doing. And I love that about you.
Yeah, you give off a radiant energy.
You really do.
You give off a great energy. And I think people pick up on that.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
yes, thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's really important. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. My next question for you is, we know you're a single mother of boys and they're teens now. How do you manage to mom and still attend to all your businesses?
I love it. But they're twin boys too, right, Cris?
Yes, they're twins and they're teenagers. They're 15, almost 16.
Oh my goodness.
Well, look, though it's great. Now they're a bit more independent, but like what I do, like I said, I work 7 days, but when I am with them and spending quality time with them, I'm not working. I think that's the time I'm not working is when I am with them, doing things with them. And I think it's really important, especially being at the age they are. Soon they're going to leave. I will make the most of my time that I can with them because as they grow, I know they will go. And we do raise kids to go and have their own wings and fly. And I try my best. When I'm with them, I am with them and I'm not working. But when they're at school doing sports or socializing, then I'm working. And that's how I balance both. Yes.
See, that's really nice. You have a balance of everything. Then you can have your home life and your work life.
Also sounds to me like you're a great mother.
Yes.
You're an excellent mother. Super mom. Yeah.
Super mom.
Thank you. Yeah, they are priorities. I suppose when you have children, they will always be priorities. And I made sure I am present and I am there. In that, having my flexibility at work, it's really important to me.
That's
Mainly
so true.
Also because of that, because I can't turn it off and turn it on and start and stop anytime, because things happen. And so I'm there for them anytime they need it, really.
See, that's really nice. And I know that where you live in a very cool country. You live in Australia.
Yes.
But you've managed to connect with the entire world and market to people from all over the world. How have you managed to do this? Because Australia seems so far away from a lot of different continents in the world, but you're able to just really see
there are a lot of people
world.
Know who you are, Cris.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think it's because social media has broken barriers. I communicate with people who don't speak English, and I can communicate visually. Like social media has created this visual bridge, and sometimes they just buy your pictures, or they normally don't even speak English, but they get you, they understand what your message is.
Yeah.
And I am very grateful for all my social media family. I call you all family because you have been there and you have given me the encouragement to do what I do and to keep doing better because
Mm-hmm.
there is appreciation. And you, as an artist, you do for someone. You do what you do because you do for someone. You want someone to connect and to maybe get something good out of it and appreciate. And that makes you, that is few for any artist. You don't do art to just, art is so important in this world. And social media has given that platform, is the great platform for anyone, because we all artists, really. We all have something to express and say, and we all appreciate. I have a lot of support. I'm being the luckiest, I think, very lucky with my social media followers. And like I said, our core family, it all comes from, it always started because of you all for being there and encouraging me.
That's how we met you.
Yeah, through social media.
That's exactly right. Yes, I met people from everywhere, like you said, everywhere in the world, and it's wonderful. I am so grateful for that.
I can imagine. The next question is, tell us about the Luna Bell Girl Shop.
Luna Blue.
Sorry, Luna Blue. I like Luna Bell, but Luna Blue's better.
No, it's a beautiful name too. Now, Luna Blue Girl came last year. I normally take opportunities. When they come to me, I don't let them go. I grab them and I keep them very close to me. So someone can say, look, I don't want the shop. Do you want? I said, oh, yes, of course I do. It was already what I was doing for other brands. And I still do collaborate with other brands. But mainly now I do beauty and travel. But I was doing a lot of fashion. I said, I can do that for myself now. And I can be my own brand ambassador or influencer. I like brand ambassador better, but so I took it and I said, now I can take this. It's what I'm doing anyway. I love it. I am in fashion. I love it. And that's how it happened. Someone said, I don't. I said, I do. I put in my hand up. I'll take it. And I did. I like it. The opportunity came and I have done this my whole life. And nothing passes by me without me saying, I'll have a go at it,
Right.
I'll have a go and I'll do my best. And since then, I'm just trying to get the word out there about Luna Blue Girl. And it's just a start. It's a brand that not many people know yet, but I'm working really hard to make that happen.
Well, I think a lot of people are getting to know it though on social media and things like that.
And we'll have links.
Yeah,
and we'll have links.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, so it's wonderful. I'm loving every minute of it.
We can tell. And I can tell when I look at your site, you have such a luxury look to it. And it has such a fashion luxury look. Does that fit into your creative motivation and philosophy?
Yes. Yes, because it's a very good question. What I think is, if you see my images, it's luxury, but it's a lot of outdoor natural light, nature pictures. Yes. So what I think is, this is a message because I think nature has become luxury. And I wanted to send that message. We pay more to be by the water. We pay more to have a view. We have to rethinking what we are doing, because nature has become luxury. And that's my message. I will do luxurious pictures, images in nature. Sending a message is this has to be looked after. We are not doing a great job right now. No. We need to see what we are doing. And this is the message I wanted to send. There is the luxury behind it, is what we are making such an asset. Maybe scarce or less. So that is the message. Look after. We are losing it. This is luxury. This is luxury right now. We shouldn't be having this. Luxury should be accessible, should be more. We should be protecting. We should be doing more for the planet.
True.
That's my messaging. Yeah.
Now that you mentioned the nature aspect of it, and I know you probably considering where you live, you spend a lot of time outdoors. But my question to you is, what is your workspace like?
My workspace is outdoor. That's my office. My backyard is, I live in the mountains. So I live in the mountains. So I use a lot of this beautiful, beautiful background and scenery. I try to do, like I said, everything outdoor, natural light, as much nature as I can around me. I don't live very far from the beach as well. So I have look, I'm very grateful because I've got the best of both worlds, and that it's really easy for me to go and get amazing pictures. I travel a lot to get new locations, but I don't have to go too far. Considering we are in lockdown, like I haven't left Queensland for such a long time because of the virus. So
sure.
but I can still explore my backyard. I explore where I live in, and I find amazing places. And the same people who are feeling trapped or they can't go out, I think explore around you because you will find things that you didn't know was there. That's my advice. Go exploring and you will find amazing. I have found things I didn't know they were there, and this keeps happening. So it is amazing.
What about when you're writing? I'm curious about when you could go out, sit by the beach and write. Do you have a writing space inside your home where you do I know you've published books.
Yes, my writing space is a home. That when I'm writing, I can't have a lot of people around me. I need to be focused and be by myself, no noise. And my computer is next to my window, which is huge. And the view is I live on a 5 acre, so I have the view of the trees. That is the best place for me to write. I am totally focused when I'm writing. My first book that I wrote was One Way Trip. Mm-hmm. That book, I spent sometimes 8 hours writing. And I need to just be focused and no noise, don't talk, because I can lose my line of thinking and I don't like breaking my line of thought. So I just write and no noise, and that it's where I'm the most productive. Yeah.
Okay. And I really love what you said about your own personal environment and exploring it, and then how you're able to get more focused by being in your own environment. I really love that so much.
Yes, that's right. I think it's necessary.
Cris, if someone wanted to create a lifestyle that you've built for yourself, what would be your number one suggestion?
Work hard. Really hard.
Good answer.
It's a lifestyle, but yes, there is no easy way. I am still building. I haven't got exactly where I want to be. There is so much work to do. I'm still having new projects, like Luna Blue Girl is a new project. I always, it's just work. There is no other way. There is a stumble. It's never that easy. It looks easy, but it's not. We're learning as we go. As long as, do what you love, follow your dreams, and work really hard. It's never going to be, it's not always easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. It takes years and years, and as long as you are happy, you want to live the life you want, just work towards that dream.
Right.
And just don't give up. Never, ever, ever give up. I always tell my kids, don't ever give up.
Right.
The most successful people are those who fell 1,000 times and got up and kept going, and they made it.
Good motivational advice.
So I always tell. Yeah. So I tell that's the only way. Never give up. That's I say, shut the noise, because there's a lot of people that they're gonna say, well, you're not good at this. You're good at it, but you're not good at that. It's not working. This just makes a big cloud and you start not seeing things well. So once you get rid of that, focus and just keep going.
Exactly. And we know that everything you do requires a lot of physical and mental energy. What is your secret to staying motivated?
Just doing what you love and believing, and just keep going. That's the message. I will not give up, and I'm very stubborn, and I'll keep doing until it happens. And I think that's the only way. Yeah. Just keep doing and keep going every day. Keep going towards your goals. There are things to be done every day to improve. You learn, you make mistakes, you do it again.
Right.
And I think even when you super successful, you're still learning. You never stop learning, and you're always something that new or something you want to achieve. It's just keep going, never stop, just keep moving forward.
I almost hate to ask this next question because you're so positive and so upbeat, but I think everybody's going to want to know this because everybody falls into this once or twice an hour.
Well, maybe it'll help somebody out there.
Maybe it'll help somebody else.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. So, Cris, do you ever have doubts about what you're doing?
Yes. Oh, look, of course. I think that's a human. We all do, I think. I do, but I will not let that stop me. I just push that away. And look, there are so many stories that you can read and, that you can get as motivation so you can keep going. There are, but I would just have to push that aside and keep going. And if you let that come to you, will stop or give up. That's something I would hate to see someone doing, is giving up on a dream. Don't give up. No matter what, don't give up. Just keep going. Things takes time, but you get there. You get there.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
You had a question about her books that she's written, right?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I'd like to do a little bit of a follow-up with that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Where did you, with all the things that you're doing, where do you find time, or where did you find time to accomplish the goal of writing these books? Yeah,
well, the first book I wrote, I was at uni, which was One Way Trip. One Way Trip by Cris Santos. Well, it's what happens. The idea comes and I'll do it. So at that time, One Way Trip, it is a book about drugs. At that time, I lost 2 people to drugs. So I wrote.
Oh no.
Yeah. So there are actually 3 stories, but I only once published only one book with 2 stories. The third story is done, but I have to edit. But the first and the second story, what happens is I needed to write because I needed to heal. It was a way of healing. So you make time for that when you needed to do something. So I need to do that for myself, but I also had in mind that this can help save lives. And I said, I just wrote, this is going to help someone someday. And yes, it was a healing process for me, but it's also a way to help others. And then the other books, I had ideas. I said, I just write. They were quite small books, the other ones. They were quite easy to write. This one was my biggest project, One Way Trip. It took me years, and I didn't want to release, but then I had the courage to do it, and I did.
Sounds like a great book.
And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Sounds like an excellent book, obviously it was heartfelt.
Yeah, and very personal.
Yes.
Very personal.
It is, yes. And it is inspired by true stories. It's not completely true. It's inspired, but I did meet these people. And it is all about, at the end, it comes down to it's really is love story, because the second part, for example, is the love of 2 brothers and what happened and the tragedy came and what happens when you go down that path. Right. My message to drugs is don't ever try. Don't try. And you don't, nobody is stronger. No, a lot of people do come out and they do, but it's many years, and it's really, really hard.
The key advice there is don't start.
Don't even try.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't even try, because no one is stronger. No one. And if some people came out, yes, but years and years and years of treatment, it is difficult. It's the most very difficult. And many don't come out, and many die. And myself, 2 people were lost. So
that's a tragedy.
Yeah, it is. So that's the message. Don't try, and just remember, you're not stronger. And if you are in it, go and find treatment, because there is the treatment there, and don't give up. And you can't just keep going, because it can take years to actually get out of it.
Angie has, we really appreciate you sharing that with us, by the way.
So
that was
personal
and heartfelt.
Yeah, it's okay.
And we know our listeners are going to, hopefully they'll get a little advice out of that. Angie's got a question for you, and I'm dying to hear the answer.
Yeah, we were talking about this, and we were wondering, where do you see yourself 10 years from now, Cris? it's a hard question.
10 years from now, yes, I just wanted to just continue doing what I love, being happy,
Yeah.
and being, just doing, just keep living. I think, and have the peace that I have, like right now, happy, my kids being happy. That's all comes down to happiness, really. And that's where I want to see, just keep, just achieving and keep doing what I love. That brings down to my lifestyle, just being happy, really. That's what it comes down to. That's what I think we all search for.
But that's important.
Yeah, I think, that's base. I think that's the base for life. I think we all after that.
Well, then that kind of leads to my question for you. Mm-hmm. What do you want to be best remembered by? What do you want people to remember about you?
Someone who tried to help. I use a lot of my work to help. I like writing to help, be people or be nature or whatever, like even my captions, anything that I can help people. To me, it's really important. I have done this. I don't know why I'm very focused on this and helping in general, and send good messages and be there. Yeah, I'm here for, like, I do talk a lot to my followers and I'm here for, if you need, I'm here. And if I can help in any way, that would be a good way to be remembered.
So being a positive influence then.
Yes, absolutely. And not just on people, but also lifting, like raising issues about what we're doing and how can we improve, how we look after our planet, and also not just nature, but also if you need someone, if you need someone to talk, I'm here. I have a lot of people with depression who are my followers, and I'm here. And if I can send a message to them or to anyone who is following in that, I will. And if I can be a help somehow, I'll.
Yeah, you're very, very positive.
And a kind soul.
Good to hear that. Okay. Angie.
Trying to use the work too soon. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure. That's all right.
We have a little lag in the phone, I think. So sometimes we talk over each other, unfortunately.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
But I wanted to ask you kind of a fun question. And somebody asked us this a while ago, and it was interesting to hear the answers. And the question is, if you could sit on a park bench and chat with anyone from the past, who would it be?
Jesus.
Oh.
Excellent.
Yes, because
that's a good answer.
Absolutely. I think he has reached the highest level of humanity. I think he is the role model in compassion. And I don't think there was a human being like him in history. There would be him. I think he is the biggest influence in the world. Is still like having the Bible, the most sold book ever. So there would be no other person to talk to, but like I would love to, if I could, definitely him.
What a great answer.
Yeah, that's probably the best answer we've ever heard, and one that we can relate to and like and appreciate so much.
Yeah.
Cris, this has been, chatting with you today has been wonderful. I really got a lot out of it. You're such a positive, upbeat person.
Yes, you are.
Just makes me, I'm sure it makes Angie feel good just to chat with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been an exciting thing to have the opportunity to speak with you.
Yes, thank you for taking time out to talk with us today on the Thought Row podcast. And we so appreciate you being here and your positive words and your inspiration and your motivation. You are just a powerhouse, girl.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. I am so glad that I was invited. And look, thank you so much. It was wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Then Angie wants to, what do you want to let everybody know? real important.
Okay, the important stuff now. So just going to let you know that if you want to know more about Cris, which I'm sure you do, we will have the links in the show notes and also under the guest tab on our ThoughtRowPodcast.com website. So everyone can visit Cris's website and learn more about her and connect with her on social media. So we'll have all the links there.
I have a feeling you're going to be very, very popular.
Yes.
Not that you already
have tons.
You already have tons
followers.
But I think people, after they have had the opportunity to hear your heartfelt thoughts. Anyway,
thank you.
So good to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
I want to say goodbye, Cris.
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Okay,
bye-bye, Cris.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
I'm really glad you tuned in today. We hope you enjoyed the thoughts and ideas we shared with you.
We post a new podcast every week, so remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. So it's bye for now from my husband Rod and I, wishing everyone a great day.